says, well, sleep can wait and everything can wait. If you understand the first one, it has to do with the kickoff times of the games. Because just so when you are asleep, you have some of the games taking place at 1 a.m., at 2 a.m., at 3 a.m., at 4 a.m. Yeah, get ready to, your sleep is about to get distorted. But that's the World Cup. That's the difference with this year's World Cup. Show is always interactive. 0539 986 996 0539 986 996. I am Gabby Affair and I welcome you again to the show. Let me hear from you so far on the World Cup, the team that has caught your attention. I mean, I know there are some more games to come, but I'm pretty sure you're impressed with some of the games that you've seen. Well, the three host nations actually have had their moments, starting from Mexico beating South Africa by 2-0, and then an injury-plagued Canada held to a 1-0 draw by Bosnia, and then that performance from the USA at dawn. The game was played at 1 a.m. They put 4 past Paraguay. The game ended 4-1. And so they are showing that they belong in this year's tournament. And they are ready to cause all the upsets and make some huge progression to the knockout stages. Talking about the 3 host nations, Mexico, Canada, and the USA. 0539 986 996. 0549 986 996. We are live on Channel 1 TV. So if you're watching us on TV, big shouts to you. We're also live on YouTube 97.3. That's on radio. On YouTube is Citi Sports Ghana, and also at Citi FM. Just leave your thoughts with us. I'm super excited, you know. Yeah, for the 3 host nations. The Black Stars will also be in action later this Wednesday. We'll try and talk some Thomas Partey just at the tail end of the show. It's part of preparation, Ghana's preparations for the 2026 FIFA World Cup. Let's just do a quick review of the games that started. And so on Thursday, we had the host nation South Africa losing to not South Africa, the host nation, Mexico, the host nation, beating South Africa by 2-0, 3 red cards in the opening game. And then at Friday dawn, we had South Korea beating Czechia by 2-1. And then later that evening, Friday evening, we had Canada playing out a 1-0 draw with Bosnia. And then this dawn we had the USA beating Paraguay by 4-1. Later at 7 p.m. 2022 host nation Qatar will take on Switzerland. And then at 10 p.m. 5-time world champions Brazil take on Morocco. The journey for a 6th title that Carlo Ancelotti begins tonight. But they do have a stern test to face in one of Africa's giants in Morocco. I want to say the AFCON champions, how the circumstances that led to they being adjudged the AFCON champions. But welcome again to the show. Leave your thoughts with me. 0539 986 996 0549 986 996. Big shouts to Edwin Kwakofi, our man behind the YouTube displays, all the graphics and all the updates. Big shouts to Edwin Kwakofi. But in studio with me, I've got my very good friend and colleague on the decks, Yao J. Minta. Maji.
Yeah.
Charlie. Everything cool.
Everything.
I saw you in the newsroom. I realized that, bro, the sleep was catching up on you. But I think we should just get used to it because a lot more is coming. Tonight we'll be on TV. To do the Brazil-Morocco game. That game is what, 10 p.m.?
10 p.m.
So let's say
that's likely to end around 12:15.
Yeah, 12:15.
And once the post game analysis. will take it to, let's say, 1 a.m.
1 a.m. exactly.
Yeah. So realistically, we'll take it to 1 a.m. And it depends how the game goes.
Yeah.
If you have a lot of controversies in it, and you have major significant talking points, quite a number of them in it, then you are likely to have us go beyond 1 a.m.
Exactly.
Because we'll be touching on those issues, and we have to go deep into it. And so there's a very likelihood that we might even go beyond 1 a.m. But we have to do it. Someone has to do it.
Exactly.
And we are here and we have to do it.
Yeah, for the next 38 days, that's what's to come. I mean, if you're a big football fan, or if you're a football freak, if I want to say it, you'd want to stay up and watch some of the games. There are some good games actually are done. I think that the USA Paraguay game was good. I wasn't able to watch it, to be honest. I just watched a bit of it, 20 minutes. I think after the second goal that was chalked off, Balogun's goal.
Yeah.
And then I was like, oh, bro, I think the host nation would win this. When I woke up to check the result, it was 4-1. So I want us to start off from there, y'all. Yeah. The host nations, if there were any doubts that the USA were ready to live up to the pressure of being one of the hosts of this year's World Cup, that was actually dispelled. Those doubts were dispelled in 45 brilliant minutes against Paraguay early this morning.
Oh, yes. And it needed to be done that way, in a dominant fashion. Not just get the win, but also get the win in a dominant fashion.
Yeah.
Because, the host nations we are seeing prior to the US, their performance wasn't really up there. Yes, Mexico got the win over South Africa, but that performance, even in the game, it got to a point where their own fans were agitated and they were whistling the boys because they felt that the guys could have done better or could have played better up to that point. And so the games really didn't live up to expectations, and it was the Paraguay USA game that did. And so it was definitely going to get all the talking points, and it had to be that way. Especially because you look at the composition of the group. The group is really quite.
You mean that group and the USA group?
For the US.
That's
because
Group D.
Yeah, Group B, US, Australia, Turkey, Paraguay. Paraguay are in the strongest side, and on top of that, you had a situation where they were playing without Enciso. So they were always going to come off as a weakened team, and USA have a good collection of players, very good collection of players, because you look throughout the team. Julio Enciso actually played.
Oh, he actually played. Oh, he played.
Yeah, because he was an
so it wasn't a major injury.
Yeah, it was.
The reports were that he was going to miss
that particular game. Julio Enciso played that game. Yeah. But at the end of the day, I mean, that's one of the concerns that I had.
He actually got an assist.
Yes. One of the concerns I had going into this tournament, that you look at the players and their fitness level, and it could end up playing a part in how their teams perform, especially the key players. Do I think Alphonso Davies could have played against Bosnia and Herzegovina? Yes, I think he could have played, but you could tell that they are trying to keep him a little bit as fresh as possible.
Manage him a little
for those
big moments.
For the big or important game, which is likely going to be game 3, their final game, because of the way the whole system is set up. Now they have a point. All they need is to avoid losing their second game, and then I'm pretty sure by the time they get to the third game, he will be available for selection. And you never know. That's when he will be possibly, or he could be possibly really needed for Canada to get a win. Or if Canada end up winning their second game, then there's no stress to bring him or rush him back. Then you can keep him fresh even for the knockout stages. And so it depends on how things go with the flow of the game and the matchups. But for USA landing in this group, I think they were quite fortunate to be able to get a winnable group. or even at worst a group that will have them finish second.
Okay.
In it, and because of the way it's set up, Paraguay and Australia, I don't think they can match up to the US.
Yeah.
Turkey are a very strong side, and even with them, though on paper I pick their group over the United States of America because of the way their team is so attack-minded, attack-heavy.
Okay.
I wouldn't be surprised the USA beats them to win the group. I honestly wouldn't be surprised.
Okay.
Their team is way too top-heavy with attacking talent, but quite thin when it comes to the defensive side of it, and so it doesn't really balance out. And you see them conceding quite a number of goals consistently. So for me, the USA, I tip them to either finish first in the group or at worst second.
Okay.
And getting a 4-1 win over Paraguay, is the best way to go about their business and kick off their run in this tournament.
I like the fact that you put names to those who started. So I quickly just want to run through the starting 11 for the two teams. Just in case you didn't watch and you want to know if your favorite player was in there. On the part of the USA, they had Matt Fries in post, a back four, Freeman, Alex Freeman. They had Richards, Ream, and then Robinson. Anthony Robinson played for Fulham as the back four. Tyler Adams played. Weston McKennie also started, and then Tillman. He also started. Malik Tillman played for Bayer Leverkusen. He started. Sergino Dest, he was playing in an interesting position.
As a winger.
Yeah,
he was playing as a winger.
And I want us to talk about that. If you think it's smart on the part of Pochettino to have realized the player's potential.
Yes, he did. Yeah. And the thing is, also you have to look at it from the standpoint of the options at that particular position.
Okay.
If you have options at that particular position, why do you have to play him in that position as a fullback?
Yeah.
When you know very well that his strongest point as a player is moving forward. And so once you have Alex Freeman of Villarreal in there, you can play him as a right fullback, and he's more of a defender than Sergio Dest, who's more of a wing back and a winger than a defender. And so I think it was good and smart on Mauricio Pochettino's side to pair him on that flank with Alex Freeman. And at the end of the day, if you are Mauricio Pochettino and you are playing against Paraguay, a team that on paper you should beat.
Yeah.
On top of that is the opening game of the tournament for you on your home soil.
Yeah.
Why don't you just go for it? And that's why I love the fact that he went in with an attack-minded setup.
Okay.
Because normally you will have Sergio Dest operating as the wing-back on the right side, with Anthony Robinson of Fulham operating as the wing-back on the left side. But in this game, he decided to double down on the attack of the US by having Sergio Dest move up top to get a bit closer to Folarin Balogun.
Yeah.
Then he paired him on that flank with Alex Freeman, who is also quite good moving forward.
Yeah.
But he's a better defender compared to Sergio Dest. And so, I just love the way Mauricio Pochettino shuffled his squad.
Yeah.
And the fact that he didn't get too caught up in the whole hype.
Yeah.
And it affected his system in the sense that he brought Gio Reyna off the bench. He didn't start him. He could have easily started him.
He scored a final goal, right?
Yeah, with that Trivela.
Yeah,
he could have started him, but he decided not to start him. The likes of Brandon Aronson, all of those guys were there, and Haji Wright.
Yeah,
people who follow Brandon Thomas Asante, his run with Coventry City, their qualification to the English Premier League. You would definitely know or have heard or have seen Haji Wright. He scored a lot of goals for Coventry City to qualify, and he's also part of this American team, and he was on the bench. He didn't start the game. Tim Weah didn't start the game. Haji Wright didn't start the game. Gio Reyna didn't start the game. Brandon Aronson didn't start the game. So yes, as much as he was a bit aggressive with the selection moving forward, he was still cautious enough to play two holding midfielders in the game and not compromise the balance of the team by having or starting a guy like maybe Gio Reyna in midfield, and maybe even start Haji Wright up top with Folarin Balogun. And so for me, I think Mauricio Pochettino played it very well.
Okay, speaking of Balogun, he scored twice, but picked up an injury. I'm hoping that it's not a major one. And then Christian Pulisic also started for the Americans.
He also got an issue.
Yeah,
he got subbed off at halftime.
Yeah, well, I'm sure that Pochettino will be hoping that his key starters would bounce back before their second game. On the part of well, on the parts of Paraguay, let's see who started. Yeah, so they had Grill Posa, back four of Alonso, Alderete, Gomez, and Caceres. The midfield, Miguel Almiron started for Paraguay, former Newcastle United midfielder. Bobadilla in midfield, Kibas, and then Gomez. And then Julian Ciso played for Strasbourg. He also started in that game. And then Sanabria joining Enciso up front in that game that happened at dawn. It was played at the Los Angeles Stadium in the USA. So USA beating Paraguay by 4-1. So the group is looking good for on a part of the USA or the Americans. They are top of that group. They have 4 goals, conceded 1. So 3 points in the back. Next up for them is against Australia on June 19. They get another win or draw. They are through to the next stage of the competition. Let me run you through the numbers around the game. And just in case you're asking yourself, on the part of the XG, you have on the part of the Americans 1.42, and then Paraguay had 0.54. Total shots 16, and the part of Paraguay they had 9. And so it was always going to be the Americans winning that game that was played early this morning. So USA big 3 points for the Americans. 0539969996 0539969996. Leave your messages with me. Let me take some messages on YouTube. Our YouTube guys who are watching us, big shouts to you all. Let me start off from Lakadesica, who says he's still buzzing for the red and whites and blue. USA. Okay. DK Dankwa says Monte Party. Yeah, we'll get into that conversation. Like Adesical says, now the world will take us seriously. It's talking about the Americans. Okay, and then some also sharing their thoughts on the ongoing saga between Thomas Partey and Canada. It says the Ghana government are holding talks with Canada to work out something on the Partey episode. Okay, let's see. All right, some people are also talking about the Brazil-Morocco game that's to come later tonight. Like Adesical says, Haji Wright is recovering from a groin injury, but he's in camp. Okay, he says I'm waiting for your analysis on the Brazil-Morocco game. Okay, we'll do that for you. Says the US midfield is buzzing with Adams, Tillman, and McKennie. These guys are making the world pay attention from Lakadesical. DK Dankwa is asking if McKennie and Weston McKennie is still a top guy. yeah,
quick still a top guy.
Former Juventus.
He's still there.
Oh, he's still there. Right.
Weston McKennie is still a top guy.
Juventus.
Yeah, he's still a top guy.
Yeah.
And between him, Tyler Adams, and Mark Tillman, I think they might have the most athletic midfield unit in the World Cup. I don't see, maybe France I don't see any team having a collection of that much athleticism in midfield.
Okay.
In a group of starters.
Yeah.
Maybe, like I said, maybe France. I mean, is Tchouaméni that athletic? No. So I think that group is the most athletic. They can run for days. Weston McKennie, Mark Tillman.
Yeah.
And Tyler Adams of AFC Bournemouth. Those three guys can run for days.
Yeah, you should see the way they move the ball real quick in midfield.
Very, 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 very workaholic.
Yeah,
and they just don't stop. Very, very workaholic, very athletic, very intense, and I mean, I don't see any team besting them with their collection of work rates, speed, and power. I don't see any team besting them. Like I said, maybe the closest would be France, but France, their starting units, I don't see Manu Kone in there.
Yeah.
So that deprives them a little bit of their athleticism. Kante is still a force of nature, but he's not 20. It's not 2018 Kante.
Yeah.
And so, though he's still very much athletic, but it's dipped a little bit. It's dipped off slightly.
Okay.
And Rabiot isn't beating anyone for pace. Adrian Ribery isn't beating anyone for pace. Tchouaméni is not also the fastest, and so that will affect their ability in terms of athleticism. But together, I'll put the US at the top.
Okay. Let's hear from you. 053996 996. Let's do a quick recap on Group B. That game between Canada and Bosnia was played last night at 7 p.m. at the Toronto Stadium. It was one of the host nations taking on Bosnia. Canada also having their moment. Game ended in a 1-0 draw. Let me start off with you, Kwachi. Welcome to the show, rocking your Portugal jersey. I'm sure you'll be rooting for Ronaldo and his boys to start on a decent note, but we'll get there. Canada playing out a 1-0 draw against Bosnia. Your thoughts on that?
I mean, it was an interesting game. I didn't think that there were too many clear-cut chances. I think in the first half, watching the game, it was not as lively as it could be.
Yeah.
But then Bosnia took the lead, and given how they looked resilient, and I thought they'd be able to hold on to it. But then I think guessing towards the end of the game, Canada were able to equalize. And for them, at least in the context of the group in the World Cup, I think it could be a precious point. I wasn't too impressed with what I saw from Canada. If I'm being honest, I was far more impressed with what I saw from the United States. But like you said, we'll get there. But but I think it's at least for all the home nations to go unbeaten, the three of them, and the first
each having their moment.
Yeah, I think that's a good start for the tournament.
Okay, on the part of the USA, good start for them, perfect start to life for. In terms of exerting themselves more, reaching the knockout stages of the competition.
I was mind blown a little, if that makes sense. I don't know if the thing is we're playing against Paraguay, and Paraguay themselves are not necessarily a big team, but then if you look at some of the football that was being played, especially for the last goal, Jorena's goal, I think it was a sequence of passes long, I think 20-30, and they moved the ball all the way back from defense to the front line, and he has them playing like a team, and sometimes you're able to pull out teams when they have standout players who are doing exceptionally well. I think it's also coming to us to also notice when a team is being coached well, and I think at least from the start of the first game, that's what it looked like. They looked like a team that was coached well, that had talent, that was able to rely on certain key players. I think the only worry for them will be that Christian Pulisic came off at halftime.
Yeah, and
I'm hoping that's precautionary, because I think they went into halftime 3-0 up. And maybe Pochettino was just thinking, okay, this game is won, let me save my best player for later, because he could definitely be key for them. But if I hope he's fit and they're able to continue in the tournament, because it looks like they have cohesion and it looks like they're able to build up the momentum of being the home team.
Okay, all right. I'm running through the group standings from Group A and Group B, but let me take your messages. 05399696 39986 Raymond Decoder inside Tama Community 4 says, good afternoon. Brazil 4, Morocco 1. Gabby, please, is it true that Bernardo Silva has signed for my darling club Real Madrid? Please confirm it. Well, according to reports, what the reports said that is that there's an agreement that has been reached for a 2-year contract. So nothing confirmed yet. Maybe by close of today, I think we'll we'll get some more updates on that. Danilo says the World Cup is making the event attractive with the World Cup is not making the event attractive with all this brouhaha. It's England that has caused all this party saga and their involvement in this that has caused all these senseless decisions by Canada. Now England are paying for it by their boots, balls and equipment being stolen. How would you even say that? Well, we'll get into that conversation. But send us your thoughts 053996 996 053996 996. Now, when you look at the group standings in Group A, Mexico topped that group. So 3 points. 3 points because they kept a clean sheet against South Africa. They beat South Africa by 2-0. And then South Korea second. They also have 3 points by a goal difference of +1. Czechia third, 0 points. South Africa are fourth, 0 points. A goal difference of -2. South Africa's next game is against Czechia, and then Czechia, South Korea would also take on Mexico in the next game. For Group B, Canada top, Bosnia also second, 1 point each. Qatar and Switzerland will take to the field later tonight in that group to see who gets the first 3 points, and then Brazil and Morocco will begin the Group C clash at 10 p.m. Guys, let's talk about Qatar, Switzerland, that game. 2022 host in Qatar taking on Switzerland. Switzerland on the path, heavy favorite heading into that game, Yao.
Yes, easy. Switzerland, Qatar. I don't expect Qatar to even win a game in this tournament, though. I expect them to improve on their performance that they showed at the last World Cup when they hosted it. Like I said, I don't see them qualifying beyond the group stages.
Okay.
I see them getting smacked all over the place, recording 0 points. And
the opening game at the last edition, they lost to Ecuador.
Yeah,
by 2-0.
Yeah, and they didn't record any wins, and they got kicked out at the group stages. So
don't you think
I honestly don't see
the experience will help a bit?
Yeah, it will help. It will help. And the coach is good. I mean, Julien Lopetegui. But at the end of the day, the materials do count for something. I know it's football. A lot of things can happen in football. You could have a situation. I mean, with the way the referees are quite stern in this World Cup, and the way VAR is sharp and everything is ultra investigated.
Okay.
There could be a situation where maybe a mistimed tackle here, an elbow there could end up with Switzerland playing 9 against 11, and Qatar could end up shocking them, get a win. You just never know. Football, there are so many unsureties. But at the end of the day, 99% of the time, when you prepare well and you have the right materials, you have the right coaching, you end up winning your games.
Okay.
And I look at Qatar. Yes, they do have a good coach in Julien Lopetegui, but the materials, is a bit suspect, especially when you're playing against Switzerland. And I don't see them beating Switzerland. Okay. This is another very quite open group game, just like the USA group. You have two teams that are better than the rest, but the rest don't offer much resistance. And this one is pretty much the same. I mean, Switzerland far away, the best team in the group. The draw between Canada and Bosnia and Herzegovina make things a bit interesting. I honestly picked Bosnia to get the win.
Oh, against Canada?
I picked them to get the, especially when Alfonso Davies wasn't playing. I picked them to get a win. But Canada got a point, and that makes things interesting going down the stretch, where it makes more than just one team eligible to qualify from the group. And so I'll be very interested to see how the second round of games go.
Okay.
But looking at tonight's game, Qatar and Switzerland, for me, I think it's a straightforward win for Switzerland.
Kwache, in terms of player personnel, juxtaposing the two teams. Look, you would stick your neck out for Switzerland to go on and win that game. Talk of brilliant Bolo, Granit Xhaka, huge experience, Manuel Akanji, Werinta, Ricardo Rodriguez. These are very players that have immense quality. You share the same submission as Yaos?
I think Switzerland should go on to probably win this match. But I'm looking at their head-to-head now, and it looks like the only previous meeting was a friendly in 2018.
Mm-hmm.
It looks like Qatar won that. I don't know how long ago that was. That was probably in preparation for the World Cup itself.
Yeah.
Or maybe after the World Cup. But it's a lot of quality in both sides. And I think so far, at least with the tournament that we've seen so far, I think the small teams are capable of pulling off surprises.
Mm-hmm.
And so I don't think Switzerland necessarily needs to take it for granted that they'll win this match. And but if you look at the quality, if you look at the squad, all the only things I'd argue that I think it's a bit like Croatia.
Yeah.
The way most of the players who are probably in their prime are probably much older, but and they haven't necessarily been able to cash in on their. I wouldn't say it's a golden generation, but there was a time where they had a group of players who were probably good enough to achieve something more than Switzerland usually do at a tournament like this. I think the most important thing in a match like this is probably trying to get the win. Given that the two other teams in the group drew, Canada and Bosnia, I think if you get a win in the first game, it can set you up really well to qualify through to the next round. If they manage to draw, then it's almost open for everyone again. It just now depends on what the next result is. It's almost like you're starting again from not from zero, but like you're starting again from the base. Everyone is level on point, and it's just about who you can win. And I think if they can, Switzerland just needs to try and win the first game to put that pressure off, and then they can see how the rest, because the other games should probably be tougher. Playing against Canada and playing against Bosnia, those should probably be tougher games for them. So I think they should try and get all 3 points in the first game.
Okay, so Qatar taking on Switzerland later at 7 p.m. Qatar ranked 56th on the latest FIFA rankings, and a part of the Swiss, they are ranked 19th on the FIFA rankings. Game will be happening at the San Francisco Bay Arena Stadium in Santa Clara in the USA. So we'll see how that game's play out later tonight. 05399696. Sir Cabis, who is listening to us from the UK, added more details exactly in the UK where he is. He says Manchester Stratford Road. Okay. He says this World Cup is becoming a story of denials. Fans denied visas, supporters denied, players denied, countries denied. But which country has been denied?
I think Iran. I mean,
but they are there. But I get a point he's trying to say. FA president denied, and now even referees denied. Yeah, that one. There's one name you can put with that. Football is supposed to unite the world, but many people are being left out. What kind of World Cup is this? Time will tell when the tournament starts. Okay. Who is also texting us from Kwabna says, my guys, okay. The USA team is something else. So far, the best match. Okay.
Yeah, so far is the best match.
Best match, right?
So far is the best match.
Okay.
I think it was the best performance by a team so far.
By a team so far. In terms of being ruthless.
In terms of how dominant they were.
And dominant. Okay, we'll give it to the USA. So it says youthfulness, pace, technique, formation, etc. at the top. If a team comes with only men, they will feel the pinch. My wife will not sit and watch a full match even in the afternoon, but she stayed up till the final whistle while I was dozing off small. She won't stop shouting and clapping. She really enjoyed herself. Team America, a team to watch, especially with a huge home support. Guys, I quickly want us to share our thoughts real quick on the attendance so far. Let me start off with you, Yao. On a scale of 1 to 10, what would be your rating for the attendance? Because I look at this Mexico game, obviously the opening game, you would have a lot of Mexicans. And then even with this game, Korea, Czechia, that was the next game at dawn. Attendance not bad.
Yeah, but
when I checked, the ratings were 90%.
Yeah, but the thing is, it's hard to judge at this point in time because so far, how many games have been played? What, 4?
4 games, yeah.
Yeah, and it involves 3 of the host nations.
Oh,
and so it's quite difficult to judge.
You want to see?
Yeah, I want to see the other games.
Other games, okay.
I mean, Qatar, Switzerland is a good test.
Yeah.
We are going to see Haiti and Scotland. So we'll see how those ones two go.
Okay.
But for now, it has been impressive. But like I said, the sample size is small, so and it involves the 3 host nations. So you can't really base your argument on what we've seen so far. But even with that, there's been some concern about empty seats, particularly with this game, the Korea-Czechia game. That okay, why are there empty seats and why couldn't they be filled up? I mean, it's the World Cup. You have 4 years, and people literally save up to be able to attend these kind of games or these kind of competitions. And so a World Cup with these many empty seats, it's quite surprising.
Okay.
But at the end of the day, you also have to factor in the pricing. FIFA has had a hard time
for the tickets.
Yeah, with the tickets. And initially, it came out very expensive, super expensive. They got a lot of backlash. They reduced it. Then at some point, it started to spike again.
Yeah.
So it's not been the smoothest in terms of the communication of the price tickets and the fact that once you have some issues communicating to people, then the consumption will also be a bit staggered and not smooth. So I'm not surprised that particular game, the Czechia-Korea game, it wasn't filled to capacity. I wasn't surprised.
Okay.
But the remaining games, obviously, once it involves the host nations, it will be filled to capacity. And so it's quite difficult to judge. But based on what we have so far, I think it's been impressive.
Okay. When you look at the numbers around the attendance, the Mexico-South Africa game, which was played at the Mexico City Stadium, capacity is 83,000. They had 80,824 spectators. In terms of the percentage, it was taking 97%, right? And then the second game, the Korea game.
Now the question will be, yes, it's impressive. I mean, no problem. But the question will be, okay, so what happened to the other 3,000?
Okay.
Why didn't it get filled?
Yeah.
Or maybe
and that's for the opening game.
Yeah, that's for the opening game. Or maybe it was supposed to be filled by celebrities or some key personalities who couldn't make it. Yeah, it's quite dicey. And it depends. If it's just popular stand tickets, then it's a bit worrying. But if it is stands that have been bought and secured for some selected personalities, some dignitaries, or members of a particular organization, then it's no big deal because people have their tables reserved and all, but they don't show up for some events and all. So it's no that in that sense, it's no big deal if that's the case. But if it is seats connected to the popular stands where the average fan will be, then that's a bit of a concern that okay, what happened where the tickets sold on the black market and that weren't accounted for officially? Okay, then what's the rundown on that? So it depends on how the breakdown is. But for now, I mean, like I said, it's been impressive.
Okay, when you check that of the South Korea Czechia game that was played at the Guadalajara Stadium, stadium is 48,000 capacity. The attendance was 44,985.
So that's just short of.
So 4,000 shots, roughly, around that figure.
And for Korea Czechia game, it's cool.
Pretty decent, right? Because that's taking about 94% in terms of the ratings. And then the Canada Bosnia game played at the Toronto Stadium. The capacity is 45,000. The attendance they had, or the spectators, were 43,000. 43,000, so 2,000 short. And then the USA Paraguay game played at the Los Angeles Stadium, 70,000 attendance. The capacity of that stadium is around 75. So also 5,000. Not bad. I mean, the guys are also rating it on YouTube. Let me see if I can take some of the messages on YouTube. Big shout out to our YouTube guys. Okay, so DK Dankwa says, so Gabby, if England do not shake the hands of Thai Party, if he has the ball, would they tackle him since they do not want to get into any contact with him? We'll see how that game plays out and the episode leading into that game. Okay, he says Qatar will shock Switzerland. Like Adesika says, the GFA president should have been denied a visa to all the host nations. So why are you saying that? All right, Sweet Kwame is also rating the attendance 7 out of 10. Attendance is a majority of the host team, just like Yao said. Empty seats in the USA game too. Okay, he says average ticket price costs $1K plus. Isaac Asari Bediaku Juniors. He says listening to you live from Southampton. Attendance is influenced by pricing, geopolitical issues, and euphoria around the World Cup. Big shout outs to you, my G Isaac Asari Bediaku. Yeah, that's my school father way back in SHS.
That's cool.
Yeah, he took care of me really well.
Oh, that's cool.
He was the house prefect.
Oh, then you are in good hands. I mean,
who are you to come and touch me?
My school father Rudolph.
Yeah,
I can't remember his surname.
Okay,
but he abandoned me.
Oh,
and it wasn't because he didn't care or was out of spite or from a bad place. He was busy. He was super busy. At the time, always
had to take care of their papers too.
Yeah, super busy. Always studying. He hardly spent time in the dormitory.
Yeah,
Rudolph was always outside reading or going to meetings and all. So I was left to
to hunt on your own.
To hunt on my own, and I felt it. Yeah.
I'm sure that toughened you up a bit.
Oh yeah, it toughened me up. I mean, St. Augustine's College Form 1. It definitely toughened me up, and looking back, I'm really, really grateful for it because I wasn't that tough going in. And by the time I was done with Form 1, Form 2,
things passed your eye top.
It made me ready for what the world was to give to me or bring towards my end, and it made me ready for it. I mean, physically and mentally, especially mentally. It toughened me up.
Yeah, big shouts to our school fathers. who held our hands to be, pass through that journey in SHS. Sweet Kwame says, I wanted to go to the stadium, but the tickets were expensive. I'm watching on TV. Yeah, you can watch on Channel 1 TV as well. We have some of the games live there for you. Build up to the games and all of that. Lakadesical is asking, let me get to this message. It says, Brazil training yesterday was on, a different platform. I was coming, but cancelled my plane ticket after, one station announced it will be shown on TV. Raymond Decoder says, Ghana 3, Panama 0. Gabi, I need one Black Stars jersey. Okay. I hear you, boss. Like Adesica says, would have been nice to see folks from this platform for the England Ghana game. Don't worry, just DG. Well, 05399696 05399696. Freeman Top in Town Pharmacy Nungwa says, good day, guys. Argentina will win the World Cup against Spain in the final, and France will be out in the semi-finals. Okay, let's see how that plays out. You can also send us your thoughts 0539986996. Kwache, just quick thoughts on what you've seen with the attendance. Yao has shared his thoughts. What do you think, or what do you make of it so far?
Like you said, it's not the best judge so far because we've seen a lot of home nations, and that will always distort it. I think we even noticed that during the AFCON as well.
Yeah.
But I think that one was slightly worse. Morocco's games were almost full stadiums, whereas the other games were barely being attended. Mm-hmm. But I think, me personally, it just has to do with expansion, and it's not even through their fault. But then we have more countries coming in. So from 32 to 40. That's 14 more countries.
Yeah.
No, 16.
16,
16 more countries. That's a lot. That's already the World Cup itself. Like, the interest you have to concentrate in this is already a lot. And now you have these extra games, and it's different from, I think, you compare the structure of the Champions League, for instance. You have these games coming up in the regular group stage now that you have, but the difference is plays at the same time as other games. Does that make sense? So even if you don't want to watch a Kairat versus Paphos game, there's maybe Barca and PSG are also playing at the same time, so you can alternate and watch that. But the way the World Cup is, every match has to get its own spotlight, every match has to get its own moment. But that means that there are going to be a lot of matches where people who are not, I don't mean I don't agree with you, but people who are true pure football lovers, there are certain games that are going to catch them and there are certain games that are not. And the unfortunate thing is this World Cup, regardless of which games you want to see, it's still being priced out of for regular fans. So there are certain games where if you look at something like Brazil, Morocco, I can probably guarantee that a lot of people will come to the stadium and fill it up and provide an atmosphere, because it looks like a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to watch Brazil team playing against Morocco in the World Cup.
I think more come from the Brazil have a lot of fans in there, because the Morocco fans too, they were dealing with some of their people visa denials and all of that, trying to get visas for their fans. I think they had a certain number they wanted to get visas for them, but all did not play out successfully. So I'm sure there will be a lot of Brazil fans more than Morocco fans tonight.
I mean, proximity.
That would also count.
Proximity is a big deal, and you also have to factor in economics. Brazil is a far richer country than Morocco. On top of that, you also have to factor in the history. Brazil are chasing their Citi World Cup, and anyhow they can get it, they will chase after it. And if that includes massing up,
I think they won their fourth on US soil in 1994.
Yes, and the fifth one was South Korea,
Japan.
South Korea, Japan. And so it's a good hunting ground for them. And they might see this as the day or the year or the tournament that they continue to make history by winning their set. And the orientation of people outside a lot, sub-Saharan Africa for the most part, they want the experience. So they want to be there. And if that means paying up a small fortune to be able to live that moment, they will do it. And so you are likely you are sure to see a lot of Brazil fans in the stands than Morocco. And on top of that, Brazil have a lot of supporters, average supporters. That someone, I'm not connected to Brazil, I'm not connected to Morocco, but they will have a soft spot. For Brazil.
It's a football team.
Because of what the brand called
that,
Brazil, their pedigree, the fact that they have a lot of big name stars, Vinicius Junior and co, and you have a lot of people with Latin backgrounds who gravitate towards Barcelona, Real Madrid. And so those Brazilian players, a lot of them play in those leagues, the Spanish league and all, especially for those two big teams. And they are very visible. And so even if they are not connected to Brazil or Morocco, and they are to pick a side to support, they will definitely go for Brazil, and they will turn up and they will support Brazil. So you are sure to have more Brazilian fans than Moroccan fans in the stands tonight.
Okay. Kwanshi, a quick point, so we'll go on our first break.
So like I'm saying, like there are going to be a lot of games that might struggle to get as much attention as the others. If you look at a game like tomorrow, there's going to be Haiti, Scotland. And obviously there are going to be a lot of Scottish people who are probably lucky enough to travel there, but not all of them too can now afford the pricing to go to the game. So now that even though they are in the country, they might still be able to create the atmosphere, but not necessarily at the stadium. And that's just, I feel like that's where I don't know what the solution would have been, because financially, according to FIFA, is supposed to be a non-profit organization. All the money they make is supposed to go right back into the investment of football. So even if the prices are high, the optimist in me is hoping that all that money is just going to be given back and pushed into the game. But it just meant that people who are, true fans who probably have wanted to go for every game, I probably have to be more selective. Maybe I can't go for all of these games. I can go for the first game and the third game. And if it gets to the quarterfinal, I can go for that game. People have had to make different calculations based on the economic factors around it. And I think that that's also going to affect attendance and things. But the more the tournament goes on, the more high stakes it becomes, the less we'll have to worry about getting these stadiums filled. I just think there's also going to be some fatigue too, because of how many more games that have been added to this tournament. So lots of factors come into play.
Okay. Danilo says, will the party situation affect our results against Panama? Affect our results? I don't understand. As in our performance.
Maybe
that's what he wants to say.
Yeah, it will affect. Yeah, it will affect.
Because when you say results, as if we have the results already. We are trying to.
Oh yeah, but I get him. For me, I think it's a legit question.
Yeah.
Would it affect our results against Panama?
Okay.
Very likely. Very likely.
One key player in for gone.
One key player. He's not the best player.
Yeah.
For Ghana, that's Antoine Semenyo. That's Antoine Semenyo.
Yeah.
But he is very crucial to whatever that will do at the World Cup.
Yeah.
And so his likely absence, because nothing has been confirmed yet, but his likely absence, is very likely to affect Ghana, not in a positive way, but in a negative way. But you never know. I mean, every dark cloud has a silver lining, so maybe someone could step up out of the blue and deliver some super performances that would even make us forget about Thomas Partey. You just never know. But for the most part, it's very likely it will affect Ghana's results in a negative way.
Right, we'll be talking more about the Partey episode, right, after the break, and then we'll preview, go heavy on the Morocco-Brazil game. That's to come later tonight. That game will be live on TV for you, Channel 1 TV, but we'll start the preview on radio when we come back after this break. The Republic of Football is live on 97.3. We're also live on Channel 1 TV. I'm Gabi Ofe here with Manuel Angelo Koachiya Jeminta. You can also join us by sending your thoughts on this number 0539 96996. We'll be back after this.
Citi 97.3 Accra.
I'm Gabi Afra. Talking some World Cup. The competition kicked off on Thursday, and for the next 38 days, that would be what everybody will be talking about. That's where the concentration will drive to. Which country will be crowned champion of the 2026 FIFA World Cup? Send us your thoughts, 0539986996, 0539986996. Have your friend here with Manuel Angela Kwachi and also Yao Jim Inta. Well, later tonight, Brazil will be taking on Morocco at 7 p.m. It's Carlo Ancelotti up against Mohamed Wabi. And Brazil will start their hunt for a 6th World Cup trophy. That game will be at the New Jersey Stadium at 7 p.m. Brazil ranks 6th when it comes to the FIFA rankings, and on the part of Morocco, they are 7th. Yeah, I'm not sure you are shocked that Morocco are 7th. Yeah, I mean, two big nations clashing tonight. The stats actually says that Brazil are actually unbeaten in their last 20 World Cup openers, and that run dates back to 1934.
Well, before I get to that, it's quite interesting to hear the names of the stadiums. Without the sponsors attached to it. The naming rights holders attached to it.
It sounds weird, eh?
Yeah, it sounds weird because I follow the NFL a lot.
Yeah.
And so I hear the names consistently.
Yeah.
And then hearing it now, it sounds a bit different because New York, New Jersey Stadium?
It's in New York, New Jersey.
It's the MetLife Stadium.
Yeah.
It's it's the MetLife Stadium. Then I heard you mentioned the San Francisco.
Yeah, Bay Area.
It's the Levi Stadium.
Charlie?
Then yes, I had the Los Angeles Stadium. Yeah. Oh no, it's the SoFi Stadium. But because of
the sponsorship reasons,
sponsorship issues connected to the World Cup, you can't have MetLife. Because people already have their insurance company and all.
Even where we play our game is what? It's Gillette, the second game.
That's Foxborough.
Yeah,
it should be Gillette Stadium. Yeah. That's the home stadium for the New England Patriots. But because of the Gillette clashing with the sponsorship package from FIFA, so they had to drop it. And so it's quite interesting to hear the names of some of these stadiums without the naming rights holders attached to it. But coming up to this Brazil-Morocco game, I think this will be the first big clash of the 2026 World Cup, because you look at the games we've had so far. No, you haven't had any game that has that name brand attached to it. In terms of teams that play and have high pedigree. We haven't had it. I mean, the Czechia South Korea game was very competitive. Very, very good game, exciting and all, but they do not have the pedigree of Brazil and Morocco. And USA, Paraguay, as we spoke about, very exciting game, but they don't have the pedigree of Brazil, Morocco. So this one will be more or less the game that will get us into World Cup mood in the proper way, old-fashioned way, where you are waiting for a big game to kick off the festivities. And I think tonight's game we'll definitely get it. But I look at Brazil, it's all about the pressure, to be able to deal with that pressure, knowing very well that you haven't qualified beyond the quarterfinal stage 4 times out of the last 5 World Cups. The one time that you did qualify, you were the host nation.
You got annihilated.
And they lost 7-1 to Germany in that infamous semi-final clash at the 2014 World Cup. And so there is a lot of pressure on the team, honestly. And there's a part of me that believes that is one of the reasons why Ancelotti bowed to the pressure of a lot of people in Brazil and picked Neymar and included him in the squad.
Yeah.
Because I see it as he including him to say, okay, I did what you guys wanted. If we go and we don't make it, you can't point the finger at me because I did everything possible, including going against what it's clear that he didn't want to pick Neymar.
Yeah.
It's clear he didn't want to pick Neymar. And he went ahead and picked him ahead of Joao Pedro. So for me, they are under a lot of pressure. And I honestly do not see them winning the World Cup. Let's get that out of the way. I don't see them winning the World Cup. I don't see them getting to the finals. I don't see them making it to the semi-finals. At best, again, another quarter-final appearance. But going up against Morocco will definitely give them a brilliant test of what is to come and how they can rate their chances of making a deep run in the tournament.
Kwache, let me bring you in on a part of Morocco. If you think that they have proved themselves to be who they are, especially with what they've done under Walid Regragui, taking giving the baton to Mohamed Wabi. Morocco's pedigree, you look at the last World Cup, part of the 4 teams to have reached the last 4. You think they can stand this test against Brazil later tonight?
I think it'll be an interesting test. Like, I like the word you use. I think it'll be an interesting test for themselves, but I don't think it's going to be necessarily what determines their progress throughout the group.
Okay.
But in terms of the ambitions for the tournament, like you said, from being semi-finalists to being AFCON champions to right now they're still the official champions, right?
Yeah.
So
paper champions. Yeah, because it's on paper. I mean, what happened on the pitch?
Yeah, it's
a totally different thing.
I know, but I mean, but just to.
But we go by what goes on paper, official. So
officially, we are looking at the first African nation to qualify to the World Cup semi-finals and the AFCON champions, quote unquote. So. Yeah, so I think they will be interested in seeing if they can match up against Brazil, because these are the games that are going to determine whether or not they're going to be able to go final tournament. I think in the last World Cup, they probably, I'd say, their highest moment was probably the win against Portugal in the quarterfinal, because that's probably when they were least expected to to actually do something. So
after beating Belgium and Spain.
I mean, yeah, but
you were still questioning.
I mean, Belgium are not prime Belgium anymore.
Okay.
And but yeah, that's the other side. I think that they probably should look at themselves and probably fancy their chances if they're able to get themselves together, if they're able to get coherent, and if they're able to stick together to one plan.
Well, let's see how that game plays out tonight. Brazil taking on Morocco. On the part of Carlo Ancelotti, he actually would be the first non-Brazilian to manage the Seleção at the World Cup.
Well, there's a first time for everything. I mean, the English did it. I mean, when Sven-Goran Eriksson came in, I mean, we have Thomas Tuchel in there, and so it's all about trying different things. It's all about trying different things, knowing very well that, look, at some point you have to step out of, I wouldn't say comfort zone, but you have to try something different and see how it works. And there's sound reason in the appointment of Ancelotti or a non-Brazilian as head coach, because back in the day the argument was that the Brazilians never lost touch of their style of play. The samba style, the flair, freestyling style, because their teams, or most of their players, their key ones, played in teams that embraced that style. So you had a lot of them playing for Real Madrid, Barcelona, those teams.
Yeah.
And the Portuguese teams, the Benfica, Porto, Sporting Lisbon, they embraced that style.
Yeah.
But then you saw a situation where a lot of the teams of the Brazilian players started moving to teams that, particularly the English Premier League, where they weren't allowed to do those things that they used to do or became known for, because they prioritized efficiency over, tricks and flicks and flair. And so the style changed. And that made things quite difficult for them to replicate it with Brazilian head coaches. And so the argument became, okay, if our guys mainly based in Europe have become indoctrinated in the more or less efficient style of play over our usual flair style, then why don't we just go in for a coach or going for coaches who also embrace that style, and can get our team or our players to excel in that bit. So that also fits into the reason why they decided to step out. And like I said, like I always say, winning cures all ills. If the other Brazilian coaches who were appointed before Carlo Ancelotti had done well, they wouldn't be forced to step out to go get Carlo Ancelotti. They would have still been appointing Brazilian coaches to lead a team. But because over the years they saw that their performances weren't good enough. The overall brand of football wasn't good enough, and they could tell that there was a huge difference between what they were producing and what the European nations in particular were producing. So if you can't beat them, you join them, but you already have the quality materials. So if your coaches aren't matching up, then you go out there and get one of the best from that side of the world. And they went out there and they got Carlo Ancelotti, and I think it's a very good hire, because he's not someone who come in and dictates that it's my way or the highway. He always tries to figure it out, and that's his hallmark. You can play your game, and he will allow you to express yourself, but he will find a way of balancing it out without necessarily being overly stringent on how he wants the game to be played. And I think that's a fair balance to give to a team like Brazil, where you still have players who have that creative style of play and expressive style of play. I think it's a very good appointment, and we'll see how it pans out with this World Cup.
Talk to me about this factor that has to do with Neymar. What Brazil will be doing, heavily influenced by that. It's either a success or a failure. Carlo Ancelotti, who's been tagged as one of the best managers in world football, how would he be blending that and also getting results with this Brazil team and making sure that they are very, very much closer to winning the title?
Me? Yeah. Oh, okay. Can you say that again? I thought we were going to watch
So how he's going to So how he's going to get the best? I mean, the best out of Neymar. Yeah.
He's not going to get the best out of Neymar, because Neymar is going to even miss this game.
Yeah.
He started training and he's likely to be available for selection next week. So he's not going to get the best out of Neymar because he's physically limited.
Okay.
He's physically limited, and on top of that, what are you going to get out of Neymar at this stage in his career? He's done it all. I don't think he will unlock any layer of greatness out of Neymar. And like I said, the guy literally was forced. I wouldn't even say coerced. He was literally pressured to pick Neymar. And so I don't think that Carlo Ancelotti even views Neymar as part of his squad.
Okay.
He sees him as what's the right word? As an asterisk member, a member of his team with an asterisk place to it. That he doesn't factor him in his plans. In his main plans. That's how I see it. So I don't see him getting the best out of Neymar, because I don't even believe Carlo Ancelotti thinks Neymar is part of his playing squad, and that he's there more or less like an ambassador, more or less. That's how I see it. That's how I see it. Because if he's thinking of tactics, game management,
he won't get that
game plans, I don't think he will factor in Neymar.
Yeah.
I honestly don't believe he will factor in Neymar, because you have options, and on top of that, the guy isn't even available for selection in the first place.
Mm-hmm.
And even when he recovers and is available for selection, how well would he be in shape?
Yeah. To be
Or how high would he be in shape in terms of the physicality test?
Yeah.
To be able to be a factor in the game. I don't think he will be a factor in the game, because at the end of the day, you've missed like almost 3 weeks of football, and even before that, you were already dealing with your injuries. So I honestly don't believe Carlo Ancelotti would even stress about, how do I put Neymar in my plans? How do I fix him in this formation? No. I don't think he would even be bothered by that.
Kwache, that brings me to Vinicius Junior. Then he must be the man who would have to step up in this Brazilian squad.
Yeah, I mean, and now he has the opportunity to show that he can be the main man. I think at Real Madrid he struggled with that ever since Mbappe has come in. But I think at the national team
He
level,
says superstar in Spain. A different player in Brazil.
a lot of players struggle with that, and it's sometimes it's just about the system and about the role that the coach gives you within the team and how that can change from national team to club career. But I think Vinicius, if you look at the squad, like you said, Neymar probably won't be he'll probably be influential behind the scenes, but I don't think on the pitch you'll be expecting as much from him. And the other players that he's picked some of them are still a bit raw. It's not like Igor Thiago. I don't. I'm
allowing the young man to enjoy his role in the Brazilian team.
I'm not discrediting him. He's done well to come in. But if I'm looking at how Ancelotti typically might play, unless he's going to use him in a similar way to the way he used Dominic Calvert-Lewin when he was at Everton,
okay.
I think he's probably not the starting option.
He actually gives Ancelotti a different option.
Yeah. But I mean, if you compare that,
big striker from hit the ball long.
Yeah.
And actually that should work in the favor of Vinicius Junior. Because he's just like Mbappe. Yeah, he wants to play off. He wants to play off the big man at the top, operating from that left side of the pitch. And you look at their last game that they played against Egypt. They won by 2-1. It was 3-2, 4-1. 3-2, 4-1. So Bruno Guimaraes and Casemiro as the holding midfielders, and he had 4 players playing behind Igor Thiago.
Yeah,
and it was more or less a situation where it would easily morph into a 3-2-3-2 formation, where it's Rafinha on the left, Paqueta in the middle, and it was Wesley on the right side. Yeah. Wesley picked up an injury in that game, and that ruled him out of the World Cup. And that's how come Ederson, Atalanta Man United bound Ederson got called up to the Brazil national team. And so it was those 3 guys who ended up playing behind Igor Thiago and Vinicius Junior. And Vinicius Junior played in that particular game up top. And that's how I see the best way to get Vinicius Junior to perform well for Brazil. Okay. Back in the day, they struggled a little bit because they didn't have that guy up top. Yeah. Vinicius Junior has moved away from being an out-and-out winger. That's how come this whole Mbappe clashing and all tactically is there, is present, because these days he's no longer an out-and-out winger. He's more of an inside forward or wing forward. Yeah. And in that sense, but he's not a guy who can play or lead the forward line on his own. Yeah. So he needs a bit of help in that sense. So he's a bit of a tweener. So he's neither an out-and-out forward or striker, nor he is a winger. So he's a wing forward. So he's a tweener. And in this Brazil setup, if you base it on what or how they lined up in that game against Egypt, you have a situation where Rafinha is the one who is an out-and-out winger, and Igor Thiago is the one who is an out-and-out striker. Yeah. And in between, you have Vinicius Junior. And so for me, having Igor Thiago is a good thing. If for Vinicius Junior, and that's why the focus will be a lot on him. Because if you do not perform, especially under a coach who you played for and excel, won the Champions League,
the understanding should be there,
and you were a Ballon d'Or contender, you finished second. If you do not get it to work or click, then I honestly don't know when you'll be able to do so.
That's a good point, because Ancelotti saved this man's career, if I'm being honest.
Vinicius' career.
I remember Vinicius before Ancelotti.
Very frustrating.
And the one standout memory was when he would dribble to the byline and then it would send you over the line rather than get a cross in. I think he was very frustrating at times, and Ancelotti was able to calm him down, able to get him to bring the best out of his game. The only thing for me is, I think, if you compare, when England were doing the extended camp in the last window, he called up Calvert-Lewin and I think Dominic Solanke into this expanded 35-man squad that he was trying out. But when the World Cup came around, he went for his second choice. Well, Oli Watkins is probably the second choice, but for the third choice, while he was looking for an option that could give him more length, he went for Ivan Toney. And as much as Ivan Toney can do the big man job and hold off defenders and keep the ball up, I think we'll all admit that he's also far more technically gifted than Dominic Solanke or Calvert-Lewin. And that's just where my worry is with Igor Thiago, whereas I think he's slightly limited in exactly what he would be able to offer as a variation to whoever plays up top. And I'm still not understanding why João Pedro is not in this team. Because if they had a front line of Vinicius, João Pedro and Rafinha, I think that could have been one of
Vinicius, João Pedro, and Rafinha.
That's where the problem is.
Vinicius, João Pedro.
You don't have a forward in that lineup. You don't have a forward.
All
you have young forwards.
And
or secondary strikers. And it's difficult because at the World Cup you need a forward. That's why the Netherlands would take Weghorst. Hey, come on, man.
Something different.
I'm wondering if maybe he hasn't been used like that since he's been at Man United. But it sounds like Matheus Cunha. He would probably play better as a 10. But then if they can find a way to maybe play him as a withdrawn forward and then have the two wingers, Vinicius and Rafinha, going in diagonally while he just stays a little bit drawn and he still attacks the area, but he's also able to stay back and leave the space so that they can also make diagonal runs into the box. I think that could be helpful, and the team is good enough. It's whether they can win. I'm just trying to look through the experience, and I think we say maybe Casemiro, Marquinhos, these are probably the most experienced players in this team. And they have a lot they can rely on. Whether or not Ancelotti is the man, like I've made this point before, like we're looking at a lot of club coaches who are, like I keep saying, they just haven't been tested at this level. It's not that they aren't good, it's not that they can't deal with the pressure. But I think you notice it even with the Champions League. So if you put Ancelotti's 5 Champions Leagues aside and Zidane's 3 in a row, you can't think of a modern manager who's probably won more than no manager's won it more than 3 times. You have Paisley at Liverpool and you have Guardiola at Man City when he won the third one just recently in 2023, I think. But you have these legendary managers who have never managed to win the Champions League more than 2 or 3 times. And some of them you have long gaps between them. Like you look at someone like Johan Cruyff. I think his first Champions League was in 1998 with Real Madrid, and then in 2013 with Bayern. You have someone like Mourinho too, who had whose first Champions League was with Porto and then with Inter, and he hasn't been able to win it again. And it's just a point to prove out that while Ancelotti has been able to do it, he's done it 3 times with Real Madrid. I think Real Madrid are the exception in that case, but I think the point still stands that knockout football can almost reveal doesn't necessarily depend on how good you are as a manager. When it's a league season, you can always revert back to your form will always revert back to the norm more often than not. But in competition football, there's a lot of high stakes, and you can see it with the European club competition in particular, that some managers, as good as you can be to become dominant or to guarantee, like to sort of have a winning formula to always win these competitions, I think it's difficult. That's why Zidane's 3 in a row with Real Madrid is so clean, because before he did that, not a lot of people had done that. But like I keep saying, a lot of these managers are coming into scenarios where it's a bit like having to win the Champions League, but the pressure and intensity is just about 5 times higher. And you have to now deal with not being able to have long training sessions. You don't have a week between your games, something like the luxury that Michael Carrick was afforded at Manchester United this season. If you are a manager like maybe Carlos Queiroz or I think the Advocate had more experience because he was with the team before he left and came. But if you have some of these managers who have limited amounts of times and you're trying to get these players to play in a certain way, you almost realize that it's almost impossible because you can't even do proper tactical analysis for the next game of teams that are going to play, because you have to also recover in between the games, and you can't focus too much on tactics and avoid the other aspects of the game. And that's where, like I said, I keep wondering some of these club managers. You have Graham Potter, you have Pochettino at USA, who I must say he has been, if you look at what he's been able to produce with the USA, it's impressive, but he's also had an extended period of time there. You have Jesse Marsh with Canada, we have Lopetegui with Qatar, you have I think I mentioned Graham Potter with Sweden. Like, you have a lot of managers who are now about to test themselves at the highest level of football, and whether or not they'll be able to deliver relative to the expectations that they have, that is what I'm not sure about. But of all of them, Ancelotti is probably the most accomplished. Yeah. And if he's able to add 5 Champions League, the only manager to win a league title in the top 5 leagues, to a World Cup, I think he'd probably have to be considered the greatest. If not, he probably have to consider the greatest manager of all time.
Just a quick one, and that's listen to what Kwache said. And that's why I'm very sure that Brazil made the right appointment by picking Ancelotti, because if you look at his career as a coach, the knock on him has been that he's a poor league coach, but he's an excellent tournament coach.
Okay,
the Champions League bears him out, and look at aside the Champions League titles that he's won, go check out the number of semi-finals that he's been in, the number of finals that he's played in the Champions League. It's quite high. And so what that tells me is that this guy is good when it comes to tournament football. And the World Cup is a tournament football competition.
Need to be calculated.
Yes. And so you need to be able to play tournament football very well. And so I look at that, and I look at his style where he allows his players to be themselves. I look at that. He allowing his players to be themselves. The fact that he's ever willing to rejig his formation and find a way to put all his best players on the pitch.
Yeah.
And the fact that he has the materials to be able to play out the game the way he wants the game to be played out and get results. Hey, I think it's there. It's just perfect. It's just a perfect marriage, perfect situation.
Yeah.
To be in for Ancelotti and Brazil, and that's why, I understand why the pressure is high on Brazil. Aside the fact that they are the record winners of the World Cup, and Brazil is a big brand when it comes to football. I look at all of those things and I see why there's a lot of pressure on this group to perform, because it's a match made in heaven. It's a match made in heaven, and maybe the only thing that might end up messing them up or preventing them from winning it all might be their defense. I look at the back line and it's not really encouraging.
Okay, well, let's see how Brazil fare later tonight against Morocco. The game is at 10 p.m. at the New Jersey Stadium. Seeing videos of some Brazilian fans on the streets of New York, juggling the ball and playing it across cars and all of that. Just giving us a sense of what's to come today. I'm pretty sure FIFA knew why they put Brazil at that stage. Yeah, in New York. Because, I don't know, there's something connecting.
I mean, New York is a big city, and he has a lot of
Brazil to one of the finest.
Yeah, and he has a lot of people. He has a lot of immigrants, people from all corners of the world, and they have significant Brazilian population in there. And the fact that Brazil is a big brand, and you want the big stars to play in the big stadiums in the big cities, and doesn't get any bigger than the Big Apple.
Okay. Well, let's see what comes out of tonight's game. But I'm sure lots to be rooting for Morocco to beat Brazil in that Group C opener. 05399696, 0539869996. Somewhere around 3:40 we'll activate the phone lines. So we'll get your thoughts as well But let me take this message and then we'll talk some Thomas Partey real quick. Now, Jay Stomata from Tashi Konabar says, this is a deliberate attempt by FIFA and the West to kill the morale of the African team supporters, even the referees. God day. Okay. The theories.
And I made this point to Daniel Mingle, DJ Mingle.
Yeah.
That when I was talking on World Cup Diaries, when I was speaking about the IFAB, the rules.
Yeah.
That when you see certain things happen on the pitch and it affects or goes against African teams, people shouldn't start wailing that
there's a target.
They be Africa for Musisi, and we are always being cheated. Or they be Musisi. That thing, no one is cheating you. No one is cheating.
Just
you.
Understand and
know
understand
the
rules
rules
of the games and live by it.
The rules, because it will come up. It will come up. We saw Mexico, their first game.
Yeah.
Final minutes of the game, Cortez gets red carded, and you are sitting back and you're asking yourself, is this a red card offense?
The host nation.
Is this exactly? And it's a host nation.
Yeah.
They're already leading by 2-0. Can't you let it pass? You get it. But at the end of the day, they enforce the rules because he denied Mudau a direct goal scoring opportunity, and that's a bookable offense.
Yep.
So the rules will be applied, and it is important that we know the rules because of perceptions like this one, like we are being cheated. And the Thomas Partey thing is based on the rule.
Yeah.
It's based on the rule in Canada. It's not based on sentiment or perception. It is based on the rule. So it's very difficult to say that FIFA has an agenda.
Yeah.
Yeah,
how should we? Okay, yeah, you want to say something?
I'd be interesting to see the implementation for Morocco too, because I've looked at all their games so far. All 3 of their games are in the United States.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so, and I'm just talking about in relation to Ashraf Hakimi, and going back to the point where people are pointing out that maybe Partey and Ghana in particular are being targeted. I'm just saying that there will be an opportunity to see whether they are going to be consistent in how they apply the rule, and that's when we can say that okay, they've been unfair to us, they've been fair to this person. And just like one of the best points I've seen so far in this whole discussion is this could have been avoided, at least not necessarily in terms of Partey going to the US, but the whole spectacle of it. Because
you think the GFA should have known?
It's due diligence. We have a player, we're traveling to the squad, these are the people who are coming. Can we confirm that if we're coming here there are going to be any issues?
Yeah. And
unless the stance has changed, unless they had information that was given to them and that information has changed.
Well, the US, based on what they said about Thomas Partey, is likely Hakimi won't have any issues, because this is what they said. The US is, and I quote, the US is aware of the pending court case for Mr. Partey. However, at this time, he has not been convicted of a crime and was admitted to the United States of America or United States after being issued a visa. And this is coming from the US Customs and Border Protection. So, per what they've stated, he has not been convicted of a crime. That is Partey, the US. So, Hakimi has also not been convicted of a crime. So, he will stay.
Oh no, in the US, he's fine. I'm talking about the relations if he needs to go to Canada. If they get to their semi-final, quarter-final, it will be unlikely if they get to play all their games in the United States. And if they do, that's
a problem.
No, it won't be a problem, but then that would be, I can't necessarily say that, the path has already been set out in front of them. But if, I don't know, if they also didn't have to go through a similar, because he might also have traveled to Canada because there's a round of 32 before 16 and 18 and so forth. Like there might be different permutations that require them to also go to that country. And I just want to see the rules applied consistently. But just to make the point, like it's due diligence, like we're saying, if we make sure we know what's happening, and then you can control the communication.
Yeah.
It's entirely different. I'm not saying that they should have come out. We always talk that they should be honest and they should come and tell us what the situation is rather than trying to twist it for us. But in a scenario like this, in a scenario where it's as sensitive as Partey's cases, and especially with the conspiracy theories that are going in the background, with everyone having their own idea of what is happening. I think it would have been better for the GFA if they could have found a way to themselves control the narrative. And this is also now going back into the England game and the handshake thing. For that game, he's going to be allowed to. It's in the US. He'll be allowed to play. But then now we come to the point where we are hearing that the whole discussion is the England players who are considering not shaking him. Then the reports that some of the talk that's coming from here is also that they are going to.
Those ones are still reports because I've not seen any confirmation from the FA yet.
Yeah.
That they are going to urge their players to stay away from shaking.
I don't think that's going to happen. It just in terms of
the report
fair play. I don't think that's going to happen. But if the reports coming from England are to be believed, I think the thing that will be most likely for the GFA is they probably bench Partey so that he doesn't have to go through the handshake. But then later on in the game they break him on. But we also saw the reception that he got when he was playing against Wales, and it's a lot for him. And I just wish that, especially with the nature of how much people are going to speculate on it, I just wish that they had done better to try and control the narrative rather than leaving it out there. And even the contradiction from the sport ministry, because the day before we're told that he had no idea about what is happening, which is, I don't know if that, I find that hard to believe. I don't think he would be purposely negligent. But then the next day they speak on the issue and then it's coming from an entirely different perspective. And it's just, we need to just limit the amount of speculation that can be done. We just need to try and put the truth out there, and as much as we can, try and protect Partey. And like you said, because he has a presumption of innocence, and I think we need to do our best to make sure that is also being made aware to everyone else. That until he has been convicted, we fully support him, and we will do our best. You get me, in terms of a country and as a footballing governing body, to also show him that we support him through all this.
All right, let's see what happens. 0539 phone line is activated. So 0539 986 996, 0549 986 996. Call us. Let's hear from you what you make about the games so far and also the Thomas Partey situation. Confident ahead of Ghana's game? Are you confident ahead of Ghana's opening game against Panama on June 17th?
I don't agree with Kwache's thoughts that if they don't shake hands, the GFA should consider benching Partey.
I'm not saying that I think that is going to be the popular course of action. In order to avoid
saying that the GFA should do that.
It's just football.
Okay.
If they don't want to greet him, that's their business. Just put your hands behind you, let them walk by, and go and play football.
But that creates a drama for the whole team. Because before the end of the game, that's when you are going
drama. Ghana has been dealing with drama since day one. 2010 World Cup, it was Kevin Prince Boateng against his half brother Jerome Boateng. We played.
Well, let's talk to our first caller. Hi, your name? Where are you calling us from?
I'm Adam. I'm calling from Spain.
Adam, talk to me.
I disagree with the last caller saying Thomas Partey should be benched in case they are going to play against England, so that whenever there is going to be a handshake, he will not be involved in a handshake. I totally disagree with him. There is a reason why. We need to let the world know that this is what these people are doing. This is not about emotions, you understand? Let Partey play the ball. When the game is over and they are shaking hands and England players refuse to shake hands with Partey, then we put our support behind Partey. The rest of the players will not even shake anybody at all. You see, we should let these people know that we the blacks down here, we are not stupid, excuse me to say. At least you fail to shake somebody who is so important in my team and you expect me to shake you. No, I will not do that. So I'm telling the last person that just put that, look, me, I will not support it. Let Partey play the ball. If the game is over, if they refuse to shake Partey, the players from the Black Star side also should refuse to shake anybody that refuses to shake Partey. That is what I have to say.
Well, thank you so much, Adam. More fire.
I am not saying that the GFA should do this, but I'm just pointing out in a world I'm even going to use the way the social media works with the updates from journalists and Fabrizio and all these different things. If England were planning not to shake Ghana's hand, one way or another, the information will get out. I think the information will get out before they actually take. So, given the number of levels they would have to go through, then I think the diplomatic solution on the Ghanaian government's part would be he hasn't been match fit. He didn't start a fair game against Canada. If we put him in the starting lineup and refuse to shake his hand, it can create another distracting point from the game. I'm wondering if an experienced coach like Alex Kiosk or the GFA themselves would then take the diplomatic position of not starting Partey and then bringing him off the bench just to avoid that, spectacle for the national team. I
think the whole point that people are disagreeing with you, and including me, is the distraction bit. Like, I don't think it will be much of a distraction.
Yeah,
honestly.
You think you are making it look so?
Yeah, I think. Okay, so you don't want to shake my hand. I place my hands behind my back. You walk by. Yeah, it's no big deal. At the end of the day, at the end of the day, England and Argentina played. Mm-hmm. We saw the whole issue with David Beckham. Yeah, Diego Simeone's role in getting him sent off in the 1998 World Cup. Yeah. At the end of the day, there was distraction based on the rivalry between those two. Mm-hmm. They moved on. They went ahead and they played their game. They won. Yeah. So I don't think it's a big deal that should force us to or potentially bench him. Yeah. I think it's a distraction. Don't get me wrong. Yeah. It's a distraction.
No, but it's not even about he himself. Is he match fit?
Oh, I mean, he's match fit. I mean, he played against Wales.
Well, that's another side of the argument.
Yeah, that's a sporting side. Exactly. I think he's much fit and he can play. And on top of that, I was even thinking you were going to say, "Oh, is he mentally strong enough?"
And that's the point I'm trying to make. If that's why I try.
Oh, he's strong enough.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. But that's why I'm trying to compare again with the Hakimi situation. They've both been accused of rape. How many times have you heard during this same World Cup?
Let's take this caller question. Hi, I don't know where you're calling us from.
Okay, my name is Alaji Lukman. I'm calling from East Lagos. I want to make a contribution to the program.
Please go ahead.
Okay, I want to contribute about the issue of Thomas Partey. Okay, my idea is, I think the English are trying to put a pressure on Thomas Partey in order for him not to play properly for Ghana. So my idea is, I think the whole of the Black Star players shouldn't shake hands with the English players so that we can continue with the game. That's my idea. The whole of Black Star players should avoid shaking hands with the English players. That's my point. Thank you very much.
All right, you're welcome. 05399696 0549986 If you want to text to, feel free to do so. I've seen some messages. Yeah.
If I can just finish the point, all I'm saying is, if you compare Partey and Hakimi, they're in the same, they're in very similar positions. Thomas Partey alone, because of this World Cup, about five different issues, I've been told that he's been accused of rape. That has been spotlighted countless times. And I'm just wondering if all these things, I feel like it's just creating more attention for him, and it's just mentally, obviously, maybe he can deal with it, but I just think that the treatment of him so far has been unfair, and whether or not he plays or not, he'll make headlines. I think at some point we need to also start thinking about protecting him and not just assuming that he's resilient and can handle.
So everything. Your bit where you said that the GFA can actually tell Carlos Queiroz to start him from the bench is more like protecting.
It's more about protecting him, just because of how much everything since the start of the tournament has been highlighted on him and his legal troubles right now.
All right, let me talk to another caller. Hi, and where are you calling us from?
Yeah, my name. Hello.
Yes, your name, please, and where you're calling us from. Can you please speak louder for me?
My name is Ike from Tema.
Ike.
From Tema.
All right, please power up, okay? Talk to me.
Yeah, I want to contribute to the first issue being discussed that, and Yao was saying that Africans are saying the white haters. It's not that we are saying that they just hate us. So, listen, I am sure one thing that is across the world is everybody is pronounced innocent until proven guilty. So how can you tell me that if someone is innocent, just like that, it's a mere allegation? And then you are telling us that going into the Panama game in Canada, somebody that has not been proven guilty by any competent court, you stand on that, let's say, based on your laws, you are denying him visa. So let's assume in a big tournament being hosted by anybody, and then anyone just come out and put baseless allegations on players. It's an allegation whether he did it or not, that are the stars of the game. They will come and the country decides that, maybe Messi, I'm not doing visa because there is an allegation on him, or Cristiano Ronaldo, I'm not giving him visa to participate in the team because there is an allegation in which he has proven not guilty. Would that be fair? That is what we are all saying, that of all, if you knew, you Canada knew there is a certain issue, you could have informed the world earlier that in our immigration laws, in our visa laws, these are the do's and don'ts here. Since there is an issue about rape on you, we are telling your home country that you particularly, we are not giving him the visa. Then the nation will know that, okay, whether we are taking him along with the swag or
I disagree with the part when he said that Canada should inform party of that. That's not how it works. So
I'm not saying party alone.
But who?
He just should inform the world that these are our rules.
They should inform the world.
Yes.
No, but when you look at the two situations, who is supposed to do due diligence here in knowing what is right and what is wrong in the whole episode?
You said who is supposed to do due diligence.
Okay, you proceed with your point, so I take my next caller. Okay.
Okay, so what I'm saying is, for that issue, I clearly disagree with it, including the Somalia referees issue, because even the tournament issues was hosted. It's your tournament, not the country's tournament. They just had the right rules, and that's what the England and Panama game, like what Coach Chris said earlier on. Simple. We should let Pate be the captain. When he gets to Hurricane and Hurricane refuses to shake him, Charlie, we are not friends. It's just football. We will apply the rules. Then it's finished. Then we'll play. There is nothing wrong with it. Thank you.
All right, thank you too. 053996 054996
Kwachi spoke about what the GFA can do to protect Thomas Partey. Mm-hmm. Guess what? Today is Partey's birthday. Mm-hmm. And they've gone ahead to tweet,
yes,
happy birthday, Thomas Partey.
Yeah, man.
When there's a sensitive issue like this on board, I know that you want to celebrate his birthday and recognize his birthday, but this is not the time to do so.
Okay, let me take
it sounds tone deaf.
Let me take another caller. Hi, then where are you calling us from?
How do you protect someone when you go and make a tweet like this?
Daniel, I'm calling from Lungwa.
Your name is what?
Daniel from Lungwa.
Daniel, talk to me.
Yes, Gabby, I think I perfectly agree with Jamie's point. I mean, England refusing to shake the hand of Thomas Partey. For me, our concentration as Ghanaians should not be there, but we should rather focus on the mentality of the player and the team. Once he's mentally fit to play and the team is also mentally fit, I don't think the handshake should, create any confusion. And besides, if I am Carlos Queiroz, what I would prefer doing is that for the England game, I'd rather bench Jordan and give the counter someone to Partey, so that when the start of the match starts and they have to shake, any England player who refuses to shake the captain, the instruction is simple. The rest of the teams, you don't shake hands, so that we can create a football rivalry between us and England and enjoy the game. So that's my contribution. Also, with all these visa issues hovering around, we haven't seen a statement issued by the GFA. And what was the team manager of the Black Stars team saying about it? Because I think he was supposed to do that due diligence and draw attention to the necessary authorities, but he was sleeping on his job. He also doing what punishment has been meted to him. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you, Daniel. 053996 053996. Hi, next caller, talk to me. Your name, please.
I'm George.
George, where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Dansoan.
All right, talk to me.
Prior to the earlier caller, you mentioned that there should have been some due diligence done, and definitely, if the GFA were to consider a lot of things, with every embassy and when you are approaching any country for a visa, you know, and the things they obviously might want from you. So I think these officials that we've taken along with the players, I don't know why they are there and what exactly they are doing. But this thing should have been noticed way back for at least any lobby to be done for the player to be included. Because without Partey, Ghana is not full. We are like half full. He's the heart of our midfield. And the Panama game happens to be the easiest game of which we should be able to have Partey on the team to give us a lot of goals and even the 3 points. 3 points with a lot of goals. That can secure us a round of 32 qualification. So in terms of due diligence, the GFA, at least with the players, that there's someone in charge. They should have done all this due diligence, knowing very well that these things can come up. Because this issue with Partey has been there over years, right from England to La Liga. So someone should have known something about it before. It's just like doing your inspection to know whether this player is on a yellow card. In the next game, you miss this game, you miss this, is on a red. You know, these are some of the things that should have been done. I think in terms of blame, we are not necessarily want to blame the GFA, but in terms of due diligence, someone missed out his work. And I believe in when we qualify to our next stages too, they will still not. I don't know if they are still going to deny him any the visa, provided we qualify to play in the quarter final or something. But this is what. Anyway, Coach Nimley, if I wish he was around today, and I would rather let Coach stress on that in terms of the due diligence. That's Moko Afe, Moko Anna Loko. My shout out to Coach. Bye bye.
All right, thank you so much. 0539986996, 05499696. Hi, your name? Where are you calling us from?
Hello, I'm calling from Spinter.
Your name is what?
My name is Peter. I'm calling from Spinter.
Okay, please talk to me.
Yeah, my question goes to Yalmita. What does it mean that the rule in Canada supports the refusal of Partey's visa? I want to know from Yalmita, what rule in Canada permits them to refuse Partey's visa? Can you tell me? My question goes to Yalmita. In Canada, do they believe in democracy? Do they believe in rule of law? So, Yalmita, I want you to answer this question. It's like you are trying to support Canada because they have a rule. What is that rule?
But why you say you are supposed to support Canada? That's not
because
the case.
Partey is innocent until it's proven guilty. What is the law? It is a democracy. No, we want to know that rule.
Okay, sure. So simple.
So
Let's do a check.
Please, I want you to explain that rule.
Can you go on the internet? Can you go on the internet and type, I have been charged with a crime outside of Canada and my trial is still underway. Can I enter Canada? Can you go on the internet and type this? I have been charged with a crime outside of Canada and my trial is still underway. Can I enter Canada? And just look at the results for yourself. And on top of that, the Canadian Ministry of Immigration, they stated that they review visa applications based on a case-by-case situation. So, on a particular case, they can decide to more or less flag a particular case. On other instances or in other instances, they can decide to let it pass. So, it is based on a case-by-case situation. And they believe, per what has been delivered, that Partey's issue, yes, he's not on trial yet, but his trial has been scheduled for, I believe it's September.
Yes.
So they believe that once the trial has been scheduled, though the trial is not underway yet, but based on the fact that they say they review applications on case-by-case basis, they can decide that, and they have decided that, in this case, they are not going to allow the applicant to enter their country. It's their rule. It's their law.
They will not allow him to enter the country on what basis? If they believe the rule of law.
Peter,
I just explained it to you.
Because of time, right? We'll have to. Don't worry. We'll do more explanation to you on that.
The US,
right?
The Omar Atan, the referee that was denied entry into the US, he holds a diplomatic passport.
Yeah, let's take another.
If you hold a diplomatic passport, aren't you allowed entry into the US?
Exactly.
You are allowed entry into the US, but they reviewed this case. Hold on.
Yeah.
But they reviewed this case and they said that he has links to a terrorist group, and based on that, they denied him entry into the country.
Add this before you take on. So it says that Canada strictly denies visas to individuals with pending criminal charges under immigration, refugees, and citizenship.
Pending.
Yeah.
So this issue, is it not pending?
Yeah, the key word here is pending. So I think that should do some explaining to our last caller in Peter. But let's speak to our next caller.
Gabby, what did you type to get that result?
Oh, it's just has to do with the situation Partey is in now. It's just as simple as that.
Go on the internet and type it.
Let me speak to
find the result.
Hi, your name, where are you calling us from?
Hello, my name is Richard. I'm calling from Swon.
Your name is Richard. Talk to me.
Oh, okay. So, I want to talk about our Ghana Black Stars.
Well, please go ahead.
I think Partey's absence will kind of cause us a lot. But then, for me, I believe in the rest of the boys, except that coach should be very critical with his selections, particularly the midfield area. Because of our weakness at the back, he has to be very, very, very sure that he selects the right players who will be able to hold on to the ball, so that we will not just be chasing, but rather we will also be able to control quite a number of minutes in the game. Because if we are playing against Panama and we will still struggle to hold the ball, and it means it's a very big problem for us. We playing against Panama means that we should be able to encourage our boys to be able to also control the game, at least for once. Because for the past 20 matches that we played, our opponents have been controlling the game at the midfield, and it's so embarrassing. Like a team like Ghana, back in the days of Africa and Wakasu, Martin, those players were very press resistant. Like, no matter how much you press them, you'll be able to hold on to the ball. But now, if you look at somebody like Kwesi Zibo, I don't think he should be starting any of the games. Though, like, he's a fine player, like, off the ball, but with the ball, he doesn't add anything to the team. So I think if there are other players, like looking at the midfielders, I think Caleb and one other person, any other defender or any other player who can be able to hold on to the ball, should be exploited very well during Panama's match. Then we will see what next, if Partey will be available for the other matches. So that at least for once we'll be able to control a game. And after that, I think that the confidence will go up. Thank you very much.
Bless up. That's our final caller for today's show. Yeah, many thanks to all those who texted and also called us, shared your thoughts with us on the Republic of Football on 97.3. And also big shouts to our guys on YouTube for sending your thoughts with us too as well. But we are back later on Channel 1 TV at 9 p.m. as we build up to the Brazil game against Morocco. So do join us on at 9 p.m. Myself, Coach Christopher Nimley, Yai Jeminta will be on TV for you tonight for our live coverage of the Brazil versus Morocco game at the New York, New Jersey Stadium. Game kicks off at 10 p.m. Guys, thank you so much. Yeah, Jamin and also
you're welcome.
Manuel Angelo Kwache. Technical support from Daniels Kwashi. I call him my wingman, helping us to do this. And also big shouts to Edwin Kwakofi, our man behind the YouTube displays you see on YouTube. Yeah.
You see, I just saw a picture on X.
Yeah.
The Senegalese, when they touched down and they were getting searched.
Oh yeah.
People were raising alarm. Why are we treating Africans like this?
Senegal did. Kevin
Did you see how they searched Kevin De Bruyne? Did you see how they searched Kevin De Bruyne? Yeah. His shoes, his sneakers, even the underside of his sneakers was being checked. Yeah. But people say they see the Senegalese getting checked thoroughly, and they are blowing alarm, making a big deal out of it that Africans aren't being treated fairly. Charlie, that perception, we should kill it. Yeah. No one is going to cheat anyone.
Okay. Well, let's take the show home. Back same time next week, 2 to 4 p.m. on 97.3 and also on Channel 1 TV and the YouTube City Sports GHA. We had from Yao Ajay Menta, Manuel Angelo Kwache. I'm Gabi, your friend. Enjoy the rest of our programs. Do join us later on TV, Channel 1 TV for the Brazil-Belgium game. Thank you so much for listening. We out.